Coming up on First at 4, how beneficial will the free COVID-19 tests offered by the federal government be? We'll ask some local health leaders. And one local fundraising effort uses basketball to help Western Kentuckians still working to rebuild from damage left behind by tornadoes last month.
A frigid night is in store across the mountains, but how cold are we talking? I got all those details coming up as First at 4 starts now.
Dedicated to Eastern and Southern Kentucky, this is WYMT Mountain News First at 4.
Good afternoon, I'm Steve Hensley. First at 4, bitter cold temperatures continue across the region, and it is going to get even worse tonight. That's why we are continuing our severe weather alert day. Meteorologist Cameron Aaron joins us now with the latest. Cameron?
That is right, Steve. Our severe weather alert day does continue, not really for the precipitation, but like you mentioned, because some bitter cold temperatures are just around the corner. Let's jump out to our camera over at the London Corbin Airport, and it just looks cold out there. Snow continues on the grassy areas. Current temperature sitting at 22 degrees. And over at I-64 in Moorhead, again, some snow on the grassy areas there, but the road looks to be in pretty good shape right now, but some icy spots are still possible into tonight. And check out these current temperatures, middle to lower 20s, even 18 right now in Wise, 19 in Logan, West Virginia, 20 in Pikeville, 21 for Jackson, 23 for Williamsburg, and here in Hazard. Up on satellite and radar, most of us dry today. A few of us had some snow flurries throughout your Friday, but some really cold temperatures are in store tonight. The forecast, we get down to near 8 degrees. We stay under a mostly clear sky with a calm wind, so some frigid air is definitely on the way. I got that full forecast and what you can expect this weekend coming up a little bit later. Steve?
All right, get ready for the single digits. Thank you very much, Cameron. Earlier this week, the federal government rolled out covidtests.gov, a website where you can order free at-home COVID tests. As at-home COVID testing becomes more commonplace, WYMT's Dakota Makris is asking health leaders how beneficial these tests could be to you and your family.
Every home in the United States can get 4 free at-home COVID-19 tests. These are rapid antigen tests and not the more sensitive PCR tests. But local health experts say they still have a big role to play in Kentucky's fight against the virus, which is more important now more than ever as numbers continue to skyrocket.
The entire state is a red zone. So with the number of cases that we have, in-home testing is an important part of that strategy.
Public Health Director Scott Lockard says the Omicron variant is surging in the Kentucky River District, and at-home tests are a fast way for a person to find out if they have COVID, especially if they are showing symptoms. However, they are not foolproof, and you may have to double-check the results.
That I have the biggest concern about it as a public health director is if you have symptoms and you know you've been exposed to someone, just because an antigen test says you're negative, that really doesn't mean that you may not have COVID.
COVIDtests.gov says you can get results within 30 minutes. No lab drop-off is required. In Perry County, Dakota Makris, WYMT Mountain News.
COVID tests from the new website usually ship within 7 to 12 days. On top of expanded access to at-home testing, we now know children under 5 may soon be eligible to receive the COVID vaccine. Dr. Anthony Fauci says that could happen as soon as next month. It comes as more than 900 children a day are being admitted to hospitals with the virus.
Zero protection against the virus. So do become a little bit more sick than what we saw previously.
We have young children all the way down to 3 months of age in the hospital without any pre-existing condition.
While the youngest Americans are struggling with Omicron, older Americans are faring much better as long as they are vaccinated and boosted. New numbers from the CDC show unvaccinated Americans ages 50 to 64 are 44 times more likely to end up in the hospital than those who have their booster. There's growing evidence that there is no connection between COVID-19 vaccinations and fertility issues. Researchers from Boston University and other institutions nationwide looked at data on more than 2,000 women and their partners trying to conceive from 2020 to 2021. Nearly 75% of the women and their partners had received at least one vaccine dose, concluding vaccinations do not impair fertility. However, couples in the study did actually have lower chances of conception if the man had COVID-19 within 60 days, indicating the virus could affect male fertility in the short term. Starting tomorrow, non-U.S. travelers entering the country will need to be fully vaccinated. The Department of Homeland Security says essential travelers crossing into the U.S. via land ports of entry and ferry terminals must show proof of vaccination. The Biden administration opened its borders with Canada and Mexico to non-essential travelers who are fully vaccinated in early November. DHS said it would extend the requirement to essential travelers who are allowed to cross into the U.S. over the course of the pandemic in early January. One new game hopes to help people better understand the spread of COVID-19. A programmer has created a playable simulation using CDC data to show how variants spread in an office environment. First, a player models a workplace and employees, then the virtual battle begins as players must figure out how they can stay ahead of the virus. Players can adjust variables for infection rates, mask usage, vaccination rates, and anti-vaccine behaviors.
These kind of things are good information to give to people so they can make an informed decision about what they should be doing.
The developer says this is not meant to be a way to advance scientific research of the virus. Instead, it serves as a new, interesting way to visualize what is happening around the world every day. A free demo of COVID Simulator is available now through the developer's website. The full version releases Tuesday for Windows. The COVID Simulator is not the only game aimed at helping others. Following the devastation left behind by deadly tornadoes in western Kentucky late last year, several eastern Kentucky school districts are using basketball to give back. WYMT's Alyssa Williams is in Wolfe County talking to organizers to learn more about tonight's benefit games.
Tonight's doubleheader game here at Wolfe County High School is about more than just basketball. It is also a chance to give back. The Wolfe County girls will be taking on Lee County before the Wolfe County boys take on Breathitt County. Admissions from both games will go toward family resource centers in hard-hit Dawson Springs, directly benefiting students and their families as the community works together to recover and rebuild.
I know we talked to our kids in here this morning about the importance of this game tonight. It's a little bit more than basketball. You know, there'll be a heavy, heated 2 games here tonight. But, you know, what's happening off the court is probably a little more important, and that they learn a life lesson. They should help others in time of need, and that's the main thing we want to get out of tonight.
Wolfe County Athletic Director and boys basketball coach Robert Creech adds that he's excited to work together with Breathitt County and Lee County schools to help their neighbors in western Kentucky. In Wolfe County, Alyssa Williams, WYMT Mountain News.
The girls' game between Lee and Wolfe counties starts at 5:45. Then the boys' game between Wolfe and Breathitt will kick off at 7:45. If you cannot make it to the game but would still like to make a donation, you can contact Wolfe County High School. Help for tornado victims also continues at the state level. Governor Andy Beshear says they will add 20% on top of what FEMA awards people impacted by those storms. $1.4 million from the Team Western Kentucky Tornado Relief Fund will go to the more than 1,400 Kentuckians registered with FEMA. The state says checks should go out within the next 2 weeks. The deadline to apply for help is February 11th. It is tax filing season, and you can start filing them on Monday. The state will begin processing tax returns on February 7th. Electronic returns will take about 2 to 3 weeks to process, with refunds issued shortly after. The state says due to COVID, they do have limited staff, but will work hard to process returns quickly. You can check the status of your refund on the state's website. Let's head over to Wall Street now on this Friday. It's been a tough week on Wall Street, and that continued today. The Dow closes down more than 450 points. We'll have more financial news in our next half hour. Straight ahead here on First at 4, the music world is mourning the loss of one of rock and roll's very unique performers.
Many people could wake up in those single digits on Saturday. I got your full forecast coming up.